I think Gervonta had a bad night. I look for a tough fight in the next fight, but I still see Gervonta winning. I think Gervonta will win in a little easier this time. But Roach is a heck of a fighter. He's going to give everybody a hard, anybody that fights is going to give a hard time. But I do think that Davis had an off night.
I spoke to Eddie Hearn and he said he wanted to make the Shakur Tank fight straight away. Obviously now Tank's going into the rematch. That won't happen yet. But when it does happen, Eddie's still adamant that could happen.
Lamont Roach looked a bit shaken in a recent interview after seeing Tank's new training videos. Tank showed off insane hand speed and sharp pad work. And it's easy to see why people are talking. He looked powerful, focused, and fully locked, and his punches were fast, clean, and on point with zero wasted motion. He even took out his braids this time. He's serious about making a statement and taking his spot back.
I ain't gonna really think about that yet because I'm waiting after he finishes his fight with Roach. Roach is not just your average everyday opponent. Roach is a person who knows Tank, who's been around Tank his whole life. This is a different fight. You can't put Roach to the side like that. I'm sorry. Now, I'm not saying that he's gonna win the fight. I don't know that, but Roach cannot be this underrated like that. You know what I'm saying? You gotta understand that Roach came.
Not long ago, Tank tweeted straight at Lamont Roach, saying, "Yay, I told him we rumbling." Confirming their rematch is on. This has turned into one of boxing's more surprising rivalries, but Roach isn't the type to back down after their last fight. He confidently said he proved he belongs among the top pound-for-pound fighters. That's a strong statement in a sport where the pound-for-pound list is always debated, especially when a big name like Davis gets pushed off. Still, Roach stands firm on what he said. He believes he earned his place not by putting on a show or scoring a big knockout, but by going head-to-head with Tank, and in his eyes, winning the important exchanges.
I just so happen to be a boxing fan that the fact that I do watch him fight, you know what I'm saying? Like, I really like boxing.
Are you open to immediate rematch?
In my contract, immediate rematch was signed. I signed for the immediate rematch when I signed for the first fight.
Right.
Just in case he lost or just in case it was a draw.
So when you got a rematch clause, how long we take it?
It's up to the A side and when they want to fight. So I'm thinking it's going to be soon. I'm hoping it's going to be soon. Let's say that.
What is soon to you? When you say soon to me, I'm thinking a month.
I'm thinking July.
I'm thinking July.
Roach has been open about how he sees things. He went online to explain his side, pointing out that the rules clearly say if a fighter takes a knee on purpose, it should lead to an automatic 8 count. He believes that moment changed the flow of the fight, but the officials didn't treat it like they should have. He said honestly, he felt he should have won even without that moment being scored as a knockdown. He wasn't trying to sound salty, just real. He gave Davis respect as a once-in-a-generation fighter, but stood by his performance and added that he made Davis do something fans had never seen before.
Rematches that you fought?
0.
What do you have to do to create enough separation where this don't happen again?
Whew, it's a good question. It's going to be based on my training camp. I have to push myself a little harder if that didn't get me the win. And I have room. I definitely have room. I'm not going to lie, I have room.
You believe you fought the best Gervonta, or do you think he got some more gears?
100% full fact. I think he might have some more gears, but I fought the best Gervonta.
That's where Roach is getting much of his confidence from right now. He's not just talking big out of pride or ego, he's backing it up with real moments from their fight. He's saying, look at how I performed, look at how I kept my composure. He didn't fade in the later rounds, he didn't let the pressure get to him. He forced Davis to make changes, and in some spots, even made him look uncertain, and that's something no other fighter has been able to say.
The hardest punch I ever faced, no. And I ain't shitting on him or nothing like that, he can punch. But Jonathan Oquendo, he's from Puerto Rico. Bro, he got bricks in his hands, bro. I lie to you not. He punch hard, I ain't gonna lie.
Roach's record stands at 25 wins with 10 knockouts as of January 2nd. That might not scream knockout artist, but it shows he's experienced and tough, and that's exactly what he brought into the first fight with Davis. While Davis is known for his power and flashy knockouts, Roach came in with a smart, focused game plan. He stayed calm, didn't get drawn into wild exchanges, and chose his shots carefully. That discipline made Tank take his offense seriously, and it's what dragged the fight into deeper rounds, leading to that knee in round 9. After the fight, Roach and his team filed a formal protest asking for the result to be reviewed or even reversed, possibly even pushing for a disqualification. based on how Davis responded under pressure.
Like, you know what I'm saying, that kind of landed. He kind of rolled with it, but after that, you could see him wipe his eye. And then, right after I hit him with the jab, you could see him wipe his other eye. So it's like it was corresponding to which hand that I punched him with and exactly which eye. So it's like crazy for him to say, it's grease in my eye. And I think even when he say that, you could see me, because I'm right beside him, you could see me like, nigga, what you talking about? So,
Right.
But you say you don't think he willing though.
whatever, see, but who cares?
Heading into the rematch, the vibe has completely changed. Davis isn't underestimating Roach this time. He's not treating him like just another easy opponent. And that's exactly why his training clips look so intense. Now he understands what Roach is capable of. He knows he can't just cruise through rounds or rely on landing one big shot. That's also why Davis is showing the world how hard he's grinding. It's a message to Roach and to anyone else who thinks he's lost a step that draw knocked him off the ring's pound-for-pound list. And for someone like Davis with his pride and name that hit hard, and he's clearly using that as motivation.
You assess his power after being in there for 12.
He got decent power. He got decent power for sure. I ain't gonna say it's exaggerated. I told you I got a chin. I ain't going like that. It's just not gonna happen. But like I said, I see why he knocked people out, and I think he felt my power too. Like, I think that's what negated a lot of his shots. And once I took his best shot, I was like, oh yeah, it's time to roll.
Roach, on the other hand, sees this as more than just a rematch with a superstar. He sees it as a chance to change the narrative. He's not trying to prove he's a top 10 fighter. He believes he already did. And now he's after the respect that comes with it. In his words, he was part of a sold-out event that set a new revenue record at the Barclays Center. And in boxing, that kind of moment matters. Big fights draw big eyes, and Roach didn't just participate, he delivered. He's determined to make sure people remember that, especially Davis.
Man, he got lucky as a draw. He did a good fight though. I thought he won it, but man, he gotta just create more action. That's a sparring session as far as I'm concerned. Oh my God. But God damn, that's not the Gervonta I know.
This fight goes beyond belts and rankings. Now it's about respect and settling unfinished business. Davis is stepping in to prove a point. Roach is stepping in to take what he believes is his. That's what sets this rematch apart from their first fight. The pressure is heavier, the stakes are higher, and with the whole boxing world watching, neither can afford to slip. Davis is still the clear favorite. He's undefeated, hits hard, and has the spotlight, but Roach already proved that none of that guarantees a when he came in as the underdog and delivered a performance that turned heads. Now he's coming to close the deal, and from the way both fighters are preparing, it's clear they know this won't be just another fight. They're both ready for a battle.
I think it's phenomenal that they're running it back, and this is where somebody said, "Mate, you shouldn't have said that if you wanted Tank to be on the show." I think Tank was pump faking him the whole time. I think Tank knew the fight was coming in August. He was just not saying anything so Roach can go out there and party and live his life when he already had about 3 months now in training. I would not be surprised to think that Tank has been boxing and training.
So when people see Roach reacting to Davis's intense pad work, it's not fear, it's awareness. He knows exactly what he's up against now. He's seen that Davis is coming in locked in and serious. But Roach isn't stepping back. He's not making excuses. He still believes he did enough to win the first time, and he's confident he can do even more now. That's what makes this rematch so important. It's not just about evening the score, it's about proving who they really are. For Davis, it's about getting his dominance back. For Roach, it's about claiming what he already feels is his. No more surprises, no more questions, just a fight that will settle everything. And from what we've seen so far, that's exactly what to expect.
I had something on the table. So people who think I'm taking this fight for money, it wasn't the thing. Because I actually had an offer that was higher than the Tank fight.
Oh, for real?
Yes. To defend my belt. So, for all the people who think I was, he doing it for a check. That's what I'm saying. I don't even want to shut people up.
Yeah. I mean, we're doing it for a check. We ain't doing it just for the check.
We ain't doing it just for the check. But trust me, because don't forget, this is business.
It's prize fighting, yeah?
It's prize fighting for a reason.
David Benavidez recently shared his thoughts on the first fight between Gervonta "Tank" Davis and Lamont Roach. And his take is getting attention as the rematch approaches. Speaking on the 4 Pound podcast with Camaro and Henry, Benavidez didn't hold back. He said that if the moment where Davis took a knee had been properly called a knockdown, Roach would have won the fight. In his view, Roach came in focused, prepared, and did enough to earn the victory, while Davis didn't look like the dominant fighter fans are used to. Benavidez also pointed out that Davis seemed to be giving Roach too much respect both inside and outside the ring, and even mentioned retirement before the fight, something Benavidez believes no fighter should be thinking about going into a big matchup.
Now it's your time to go out there and just go ahead and do what you got to do with Lamont. Go do what you got to do. Man, knock him out, man. Go in there and be aggressive, man. Man, quit with your. I get you trying to read opponents, man, but man, give it your all and just go crazy, man. Just go crazy. Switch up the game plan on that one, because you know what you're trying to do. Switch it up. So, as far as retirement, Tank has already proved himself. He's already made the money he needed to make.
Benavidez's comments bring up serious questions about Davis's mindset during that first fight. He called Davis a beast, but said the version that showed up against Roach didn't match that reputation. He pointed out their amateur history and suggested that might have played a role in how the fight played out. Maybe Roach is just one of those fighters who knows how to handle Davis. But what bothered Benavidez the most was hearing Davis talk about retirement and money before the fight. For a fighter known for his power and killer instinct, going into a match more focused on the paycheck than the win is hard to accept, not just for fans, but also for fellow champions like Benavidez.
He should have lost the fight. I mean, he should have had a point deducted. There's no doubt about that. But two, people criticised the Roach fight. I knew it would be a good fight because we know Roach is a good fighter, but people in boxing know that Roach is a good fighter. Now it's giving him another fight. Because if he would have beaten Roach, he's kind of backed in a corner to fight Shakur Stevenson, I think. But now he's got a rematch that's actually much bigger than the first fight. So, yeah, I think he'll be more switched on for this maybe, but Roach is a good fighter. It won't be easy.
Then there's Terrence Crawford, who shared his thoughts on the upcoming rematch during an appearance on the Ring Champs show with A. and Barack. Crawford made it clear he doesn't think Lamont Roach can do any better than he did in the first fight. In his view, Roach gave everything he had, and that was his ceiling. But Crawford believes Davis still has room to improve. He pointed out that in their first fight, Davis was landing 1 or 2 punches at a time without following up, which isn't his usual style. That low output let Roach stay competitive. Crawford says if Davis comes in more aggressive, throws more combinations, and applies real pressure, he can take control and win convincingly this time, simply by fighting the way he normally does.
So now he's trying to please the fans, possibly, and take this fight versus Lamont Roach in a rematch. You know, is it even worth it to please the fans who are going to love you 1 minute, hate you the next? They're going to love him this minute, they're going to hate him next minute. Oh, I don't like it. He can fight Lamont Roach, and they're going to say, well, he's supposed to knock Lamont out if he does win, you know? Or if he loses to Lamont, they're going to say, oh, we knew Lamont was better. It's just always is a never-ending story in regards to boxing. You can't just please the people.
Crawford's point isn't that Roach lacks skill. He even admits Roach might have a slight edge over Davis stylistically, but he believes Davis has more room to grow. Crawford sees this as a battle of mindset and strategy more than just power or talent. In his view, the outcome depends on whether Davis shows up with urgency. If he does, Crawford expects a much clearer result, but if Davis enters with the same attitude he had the first time, things could be just as close or even more dangerous. That's the cloud hanging over this rematch. Everyone knows what Davis is capable of, but there's real doubt about whether he'll bring that full intensity when the spotlight hits in August.
Like I said, Tank is a different animal than people even begin to realize in the boxing world, man. He's on a level of his own, in my opinion. I think this is even going to be close.
All right, Mike, what do you think about that?
I think it was needed, but on the opposite way, though, I think it's more so for Roach, in my opinion. That he proved his point. Honestly, Tank met his match, in my opinion. And Roach honestly should have won that fight. Like, that's my personal opinion. He really should have won. It shouldn't have been no draw or whatever.
Adding more insight to the conversation is Shakur Stevenson, who has spent time in the gym with Lamont Roach and knows him well. Stevenson's respect for Roach runs deeper than most, and his opinion carries weight. As one of the most skilled fighters in the division, in a recent Ring magazine interview, Stevenson made it clear he's not buying into the idea that Davis will just roll through Roach in the rematch. He sees Roach as a serious threat, someone who's been working his whole life for this moment. Stevenson even said he bet on the first fight going the distance because he didn't believe Roach would get a fair shake on the cards. That alone shows how much confidence he has in Roach's ability to stand with the top names in the sport.
How you think the one coming up with
I
Tank
hope he
and
don't
Roach?
fight Lamont, actually. Like, I hope he don't get in the ring with him again. Because at the end of the day, if he lose, it's just going to look bad on the fight with me. So it's going to look like somebody else already did it.
You want Tank to knock you out, yo.
I ain't even gonna lie to you.
I heard him say before. I heard him say, like, yo, I want to fight Tank, and that's nice, but why do you want Tank to knock you out so bad? Like,
Look, that sound good. That sound real good, but she's too little.
Too little.
I promise you.
Stevenson's comments also hint at how this rematch could impact his own future as the WBC lightweight champion. He's eyeing a massive showdown with Gervonta Davis, a fight that would be huge for boxing and potentially career-defining for Stevenson. But if Roach pulls off another upset, that fight could slip away. Stevenson admitted he's worried about that. He wants to face Davis, while they're both still undefeated, and Roach is the obstacle in the way. At the same time, Stevenson recognizes that Davis has some serious adjustments to make if he wants to win this rematch. He's not counting Davis out. In fact, he believes Davis has what it takes, but he's clear that Davis has to be much better than he was the first time around. Stevenson believes Davis can't just be at his best. He has to rise above it if he wants to leave no doubts this time.
Lamont Roach throwing his hands fast as hell. He's in the gym preparing. I think the rematch with Roach versus Gervonta can actually be more exciting than the first one. In my opinion, I've said this many times, the actual fight itself wasn't that crazy. The crazy thing is what you've never seen before, the knee. But as far as a boxing match, it was, if you look at the copy box, they didn't throw a lot of punches. It wasn't like, it wasn't really a great fight.
All these viewpoints paint a much deeper and more complicated picture of the Davis versus Roach rematch. This isn't just a typical matchup between a superstar and an underdog. It's a clash between a former pound-for-pound leader who might be losing his edge and a determined challenger who's on the rise. The first fight surprised a lot of people. Roach didn't just survive. He had moments where he took control and pushed Davis into uncomfortable territory. The fact that Davis took a knee and it wasn't ruled a knockdown still sparks debate, and for fighters like Benavidez, Crawford, and Stevenson, that moment wasn't just important in the fight, it shifted how many in the sport now look at Davis.
Which version he shows up with, and no disrespect to Roach, but you know what I mean.
No, that is disrespectful to Roach, and like y'all fight fans gotta realize that is disrespectful. You know what I'm saying? Like, he in there fighting another grown man that ain't going for none of that shit. You know what I'm saying? And you don't think Roach is gonna come with another game plan or something better or this, that, and third. So when they had a rematch, are y'all still gonna say, oh, Take's still not his full self ever since he fought whatever? You know what I'm saying? Like, nah, like.
There's a growing sense that Davis might be vulnerable, not done, not past his prime, but no longer untouchable. And that's something new for him. Up until now, he's been viewed as a powerhouse, fast, explosive, and nearly impossible to shake. But the fight with Roach changed that. It made fans, analysts, and even other fighters start asking tough questions. Was it just an off night? Or is Davis beginning to lose the sharpness that set him apart? Or maybe Roach is simply that skilled and ready? There's no definite answer yet. And that uncertainty is exactly what makes this rematch so intriguing.
I think that the next fight is going to be a whole lot better. And I think the next fight is going to end with somebody being on the canvas, in my opinion. But I think that Lamont Roach, I want to give a shout out to Lamont Roach for, putting up such a, amazing performance. We've never seen anyone stand there.
The rematch set for August 16th in Las Vegas is expected to answer a lot of lingering questions, but it's already sparking even more. The buzz around it keeps building, and it's gone beyond just boxing skills. Now it's about mindset, focus, and legacy. Davis needs to show that their first fight was just a slip, not the start of a decline. Roach, on the other hand, has the chance to prove he wasn't just in the right place at the right time. If he pulls it off again, it could redefine his career, shake up the division, and shift the whole narrative. And for fighters like Stevenson watching closely, this fight affects more than rankings. It affects future matchups, timing, and who takes center stage next. Everyone's paying attention, not just fans, but the biggest names in boxing, and that alone says how high the stakes really are. So, who do you think takes the win in the rematch? Drop your predictions below, and don't forget to subscribe for more updates.